What's going on, everyone? We'll be checking out Dangerfield's new video. Is this Space Godzilla and Godzilla X Kong footy? It might be, but we got to check it out, confirm for ourselves. So let's go ahead and get this video.
We've seen the rise of Hollow Earth threats, but what if humanity has been looking in the wrong direction? The next great kaiju catastrophe might not come from below, but from the depths of space. After Scar King and Shimo's rampage in Rio de Janeiro, humanity is rushing to shut down the Hollow Earth portals. But while we're focused on the dangers beneath us, something far more terrifying could be on the horizon. I'm talking about none other than Space Godzilla. Welcome home, residents. It's your Mayor Alistair back once again with some fresh, hot, radioactive hints about the next MonsterVerse film. Now, before you type in the comments, no, that wasn't the official synopsis, but we have something that tells us there may be some potential truth behind this. After years of fan speculation, Godzilla X Kong 3 may deliver exactly what the community have been asking for, but with a twist. Now, for those living under a rock, you're probably asking, there's a Godzilla from space? Yes, and he's the best character in the Godzilla franchise, so it makes sense that fans would want him to appear in the MonsterVerse. But who is...
Yeah, so I don't get people like, who the hell is Space Godzilla? Like, again, I grew up with old school hip hop, pop, country, rock, and old school movies. Like, even though I was an old fool baby, I grew up with all older shit. Me personally, my favorite Godzilla film, and back from the 60s, the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Basically, my favorite Godzilla film was Godzilla vs. Destroyer, 1995. Space Godzilla, which I believe was in 89. And the very first appearance of King Ghidorah. And we got Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla Final Wars.
Is he? I can hear you shouting at your screen.
I believe it was
well,
89.
let me tell you. Now, we've already spoken about Space Godzilla in the past, so I'll be brief. This beast first appeared in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla back in 1994, and his origin is absolutely insane. The theory is that Godzilla's DNA, its G-cells, somehow ended up in space, either through Biolante,
I knew it was happening before Godzilla vs. Destroyer, but then of course you know,
previous mutant kaiju, or Mothra, who flew off into space carrying some of Godzilla's genetic material. Once exposed to a black hole's cosmic radiation, those cells mutated into a being that can only be described as Godzilla, but better in every way. Bulkier, more intelligent, more powerful, melding its genetics with extraterrestrial elements. Rocking a set of giant glowing crystals on his shoulders and a mean-looking face, Space Godzilla is one of the most powerful enemies the G-Man has ever faced. He's got telekinesis, a nasty energy ray called the Corona Beam, and the ability to generate massive crystal formations that siphon power straight from the Earth. He even built his own fortress out of them. Not the coziest of homes, but it's good enough for him. But here's where things get interesting. The MonsterVerse might actually be setting up Space Godzilla's arrival. Dan Stevens, the actor that plays Trapper, potentially revealed that aliens will be a threat in the upcoming MonsterVerse film, with this post signing off with, "Watch this space." Now, of course, this could simply be telling his fans to follow him and stay tuned for updates, but the emphasis on each of those words makes me think there's more to it. And he's subtly stating that fans should watch the stars, because something is coming. and current leaks support this. The emojis having Godzilla, Kong, and Planet Earth.
Before I get into this, I did, when he posted this, I did want to say something about it, but I believe this was like when he was announced and all that, and was confirmed. I did want to say something about it, but I was kind of wondering is what it means, or what was it? But now now I'm starting to think that might be a Space Godzilla reference, or a Gigan reference. One of the two, or a new King Ghidorah. Martial X.
Also highlight these space themes he's trying to hint towards. Now, this wouldn't be the first time aliens have been in the Monsterverse. Of course, Ghidorah came from the stars to terraform and wipe out all life on the planet. And from what we know about the next Monsterverse film, it's set to focus on Godzilla. A big difference.
Mutant King Ghidorah. Fucking Motherween King Ghidorah. And some of y'all might not get this reference. Motherween King Ghidorah. He grew his hair back after being bit off. In a matter of a second, Motherween got King Ghidorah.
Difference from the previous two, where Kong has taken center stage. But it's also stated to have him be the antagonist of the film. But what if the leakers have it mixed up, and it's not Godzilla that's evil, but rather Space Godzilla? But how would a Titanic Gojira even come from space? It's not like Biolante or Mothra have sent his DNA off-world. Well, I believe that this is the first step to a full-on alien invasion film, like Independence Day or War of the Worlds. And Space Godzilla is the result of a spacefaring race that abducted a Godzilla specimen before.
Dangerville, what question? These movie scenes that you get from, if you're watching this, can you like tell me where you get these movie scenes? Cause I can't remember the second name. I think I know the name, but I can't remember the second name. And a lot of them I have watched, and a lot of them I haven't. And these look pretty fucking good. I really want to watch it. So if you like to see this video, one of the teams of Dangerville, let me know, please.
Performed experiments on it and have had it sent down to wipe out all life on the planet to begin the process of colonization. As we know, Space Godzilla is covered in crystals and can even create them, rising them out of the ground. You know what else is covered in crystals?
Yeah.
The Hollow Earth. These unearthly structures look almost alien, so perhaps these are the work of the alien race that tried and failed to destroy the planet once already, with the #1 factor being Godzilla, the king of the monsters, the protector of the planet. So to combat that, they need their own, but even stronger. It honestly makes sense. Without sounding too much like Joe Brody and Godzilla, I believe that humanoid aliens have been in the shadows of the Monsterverse all along, quietly manipulating things to direct us towards humanity invading the Hollow Earth, to wipe out the Titan population, making colonization of the planet effortless. Less humans, less monsters, less fuss. I believe Space Godzilla could be a real threat, something where Godzilla has to question his own morality. He's always been a protector, keeping the natural order in check. And here comes a member of his species that puts all that into question. Maybe humanity deserves it. After all, they've done enough chaos and destruction throughout their existence. But Space Godzilla wouldn't stop at humanity. He'd wipe out everything, leaving behind a barren wasteland ready for conquest. And Godzilla knows that, and he will have to put a stop to him. It could really add depth to the character, and based on the early comments about the film, that's exactly the goal, with Wingard stating, before he left to work on his own film, that he wants to do for Godzilla what the new empire did for Kong. With Zozlar Halawa, the monster that ate a star and became wicked, it's clearly something they've had in the works for quite some time now, with the cave paintings depicting one evil mutated titan belonging to his species, in which both the Godzilla...
This is the part I was talking about when this painting of the cave got weak. People did not fucking believe me. I was like, that's Space Godzilla. That's not Mothra and Godzilla connected, as people point out. That's Space Godzilla, or some unknown creature that we don't know about. But the way it looks like, that's Space Godzilla. And could we expect Space Godzilla as the main villain in the next film? Possibility. I did not finish the list on what cities could the next month supposed to be, and what's your show? It's just saying. I'm just gonna say that, but hey.
And the Kongs had to team up to take down. This could very well be foreshadowing the events of Godzilla x Kong 3, where the great apes have to put aside their differences to assist Godzilla in a moment where lines are drawn and alliances are made. Previously, we had theorized that the MonsterVerse's equivalent to Space Godzilla wouldn't come from space at all, but would be adapted to work as a Hollow Earth entity, supercharged by the core's radiation. But based on Dan Stevens' cryptic message, we may get the space in Space Godzilla after all.
That or they show like a scene. He's already in the Hollow Earth, but he came, like, so say he like came into for a long time ago, like during, I would say, during the Great War of Kongs. And let's say that the Kongs got stood up. Let's say one of them dies when it's put up in the hell. The dust gets put up in the hell. What's up the space? It comes down, but it happens way before the events of the 2014 Godzilla. And he does not know that, because Space Godzilla has been hiding in the Hollow Earth, charging, getting bigger, getting stronger. That could possibly, I'm not saying it is. It could possibly be that. I mean, because again, how you gonna make up a story? I'm not told it, but how you gonna make up a story on that when Godzilla doesn't die? So
the stars may be aligning to bring this classic cosmic horror finally to the MonsterVerse, which I'd be all for, as long as they have a logical origin for him. This could very well be the start of the next true phase of the MonsterVerse. If the series up to this point was about introducing the Hollow Earth, this era is about introducing galactic threats. And I'm looking forward to seeing the MonsterVerse expand to unimaginable territory. But what do you think about Space Godzilla? Well, over on Twitter, I asked exactly that. And this is what you had to say. Make sure to follow us at Dangerville Team and keep an eye out for the hashtag DangerReplies.
I did follow you guys.
Featured in a video.
I believe I called me, I'm not sure. This comics ain't bad. Comments.
Be sure to
What
subscribe
his name
and
was?
stop the
Yeah.
notification
Evan.
button to
Evan.
become a resident of
Nah.
Dangerville today.
Thank you,
Let
Evan.
us know in the comments if you think Dan is hinting towards Space Godzilla in the Monsterverse. It's looking more and more likely by the day.
I said
I've
it's
been
over.
Alistair, and we'll see you residents in the next one.
Thank you, Ben. But yeah, but what if, basically, I said earlier about Space Godzilla came to the Earth, but he's been hiding into this big crystal mountain in the heart of Earth, charging all that. But what if? So you know how we are the Kong species with instinct, and he's like the only one left until Godzilla's conquered the new empire. Well, Kong King has been keeping them prisoner all this time. What if the Godzilla species isn't dead? What if it's not extinct? Think about it. If Godzilla, Space Godzilla, came into the Earth a long time ago, before Godzilla 2014 grew up. Let's say that Godzilla was he was born, okay? So we're like doing the same story with Kong when he was born. So like he was born, but he was an egg. Well, Space Godzilla could not find. And then, what if Space Godzilla kept all the Godzillas prisoner, and they couldn't evolve as powerful as him, because he took basically almost all of the energy from these crystals and these all that to event. And then the Godzilla, legendary Godzilla, he's been around since then, and he's evolved. He's now pink, most powerful evolved of all time, they're saying. But hey, could we expect it? Could we get a pink bunny Godzilla? Oh my god. Make sure to subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.